Yeah, I can leave. That's me. Good evening, everyone. I want to say welcome and thank you for joining us for tonight's school board meeting. I want to make a quick announcement that our regular process of streaming live on YouTube is currently not working. YouTube is having some technical difficulties, so we will still record this meeting and post it to YouTube later when it's working. So just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention. And we're going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. And we're going to start with our land acknowledgement led by Alex Phillips, our student advisor.
We honor the first people of these lands by acknowledging that the area in which we gather is within the traditional territory of the Stillaguamish tribe of Indians. The Stillaguamish people have inhabited these lands and waters since time immemorial, and their ancestors have remained in the territory to this day. The Stillaguamish people have continued to practice their traditional ways of their ancestors of fishing, hunting, and gathering. The Stillaguamish tribe has had these lands and cultures traditions passed down to them by their ancestors who believe that everything has a spirit and they are the caretakers of the lands and waters.
Would you like to start us off with our pledge of allegiance?
Sure. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And next we'll have our roll call attendance. Madam Clerk.
Director Diamond.
Here.
Director Kelly.
Here.
Director Watts.
Here.
President Levesque.
Here.
Director Knapp.
Here.
Student Advisor Van Beek.
Student Advisor Phillips.
Here. Superintendent Sweeting.
Here.
Thank you. Next, we'll have our approval of the agenda. Is there any changes anyone would like to make, or can we get a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
I make a motion we approve the agenda as presented.
I'll second.
It's been moved by Director Kelly and seconded by Director Watts to approve the agenda as presented. Madam Clerk.
Director Diamond.
Aye.
Director Kelly. Director Watts.
Aye.
President Levesque.
Aye.
Director Knapp.
Aye. Thank you. The agenda is approved. Next is our minutes. We have one set of minutes from our study session and regular meeting on February 23rd. Any changes anyone would like to make over a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the study session and regular meeting minutes for February 23rd.
I'll second. It's been moved by Director Diamond and seconded by Director Knapp to approve the February 23rd meeting minutes.
Director Diamond.
Yes.
Director Kelly.
Aye.
Director Watts.
Yes.
President Levesque.
Yes.
Director Knapp.
Yes. Thank you. And next up, we have our presentation portion of our meeting. We'd like to welcome Haller Middle Schools with Haller's Angels. And our Haller principal is Brooke Howell. And she's got some people with her. Kim Anderson, our PE US history teacher and volleyball coach at Haller Middle School. Everything. How do you want to introduce your people?
Yes, so I have Savannah Roberts, who is a former volleyball player for me back in middle school. She's been out of high school for 2 years. My daughter Natalie, who is currently in high school and was part of Honor Society. Aubrey Roberts, who was also a manager for me while she was in middle school and is now Honor Society, that kind of helped us out. Michaela Harrington, former volleyball player, and then Taylor Hoy, who is a current volleyball player. So that is who I have with me. So a few years ago, well, I guess it's been since we kind of opened up, I felt the need that I wanted to teach these girls not only on the court about skills, but also how to be better citizens and to give back their community, because we ask so much of our community, especially as they move on into high school and whatnot. We're asking our community a lot. So I approached one of my teams 15 years ago or so and asked them how they felt about this. And they said, yes, let's do it. And since then, it has just grown and exploded. And I cannot not do it now because people look forward to it as they kind of go through the program. And so that is kind of what this project came about, was to pay it forward and to teach them that, you know, there are times where we might need the help. And if we start doing it now, maybe, you know, in the future that we can do that as well. So paying it forward.
For
this part of the presentation, a big part for all of us was like the lessons we learned from doing it. And like I came onto the program, not even playing for the team, but just managing the team because my sister was on the team and I wanted to get involved. But I really learned like compassion and empathy because it was really important to me to pay it forward to other people. That's kind of something I was raised on in my house. And so when something else was introduced to me in the school setting, about helping people around me who might not have what I have, that was really important to me. And my mom's like full-fledged passion in helping as well really helped in it as well. Because I look up to my mom. And so being able to help the school, but then also look at people I admire helping as well, that meant a lot. And then gratitude and service, like acknowledging that there are people in my community that don't have what I have or the opportunities that I get, kind of took a lot to reflect on my own character and who I was. But even before I was in National Honor Society, I had the opportunity to help take on organizing all of this. And so it was not for hours or for volunteer acknowledgement. It was just kind of out of who I wanted to be and what I wanted to represent. And so that kind of went into my gratitude and service, is that I was really grateful for what I had and I really wanted to make sure I could give it on to other people. And just like the collective, all of the things, there was many people I saw who, like former friends and teammates who were also on the team, who felt like they had to come back and help because there was just nothing filled their heart like helping out for Howler's Angels. And like when Christmas time rolled around, being able to go out and intentionally buy things for this family, knowing that you were going to help them that year, meant a lot to everyone that was involved.
And I just want to add, the Roberts family, 8 years with me, and they're not going to be here anymore. And so it's a little sad for me because this girl right here, like, did organize it. Because there was one year, it was a pretty tough year for me. And I just said, I just don't know if I can do it. She goes, I will take it on for you. And so that, yeah, I could start crying because of that, but okay. Sorry. It is 100% donations. And we just ask the girls what you can, what you cannot do. If you are unable to provide for this, we have them make cards for the family. We get them involved one way or another. The next slide will show you, they wrap the presents for them. So we find a way for them to be involved, even if they can't financially help out. And we have even had some families that have donated gently used baby clothes for some. And so that's been a great help as well. And so I asked some people to give me some quotes, and so those are spread throughout there. But this is throughout the years. This picture, these two pictures, that was COVID year. So even though we had COVID year, we still did it. I just put a little call out on Facebook, and the number of people that said, oh, we have to do this. It was great. So. Yes, this is you.
Okay, so unfortunately, my 7th grade year, we didn't do it. So this was my first year actually participating in it. And I was the one that was there when we delivered the gifts. And I think it really helped understand like how much of an impact it has on these families, because, you know, at the time of the family that we were giving these to, they didn't have a lot of stuff, and including the flooding and everything, which came on top of that. And I just think seeing the families and having these families know that there are people like us that are out there that are willing to and wanting to help them out, just I think really helps with the community. And I think it also helps for the volleyball girls to get, like, I think it just helps them to get more involved in the community more, because it opens up some opportunities, you know, of maybe in high school wanting to do something like this because they volunteered. And yeah, I just think it was like, I think it's really impactful for families.
Taylor's the only one that has actually got to hand deliver to a family. All of the years past, it's been kind of an anonymous thing, but this year, the family showed up and I asked if a student could, and they said yes, and she happened to be a TA during that period, and so she actually got to see the family and actually got to see the impact, and so that is one reason why I asked her to come today as well, so.
So each year we serve out like 2 to 3 families, and we give them presents and gift cards and groceries. whatever they need, and even like their pets, we sometimes give whatever they ask for, and we make sure that they all feel loved and cared for. I think for most of them, some families don't talk about giving to other people, so them getting to experience that and seeing the joy that you give to people, but then also getting to yourself from seeing other people get joy is really impactful.
So obviously have been doing this since I was in seventh grade, and Aubrey got to watch me do it, and it's fun to see like how our families got to be into it. And then our brother's 2 years behind us, so he was around, got to see it. Our mom was really into it. She's like, "Hey, we gotta go shopping, get the cart loaded up." So it was fun to like go out like on Black Friday and be like, we're not shopping for anybody in the family or friends, stuff like that. Like we're shopping for these families. Getting home, wrapping them. My mom likes to do them all big. So it was fun to bring them to school. And although we don't get to see their reactions, it's knowing like in your heart, like they're opening a present for Christmas because we all came together as a group. So yeah, I think that's obviously like very impactful. And like Ms. Anderson said, like during COVID, even when we weren't really like around, like she made it happen. It's important to, even if it didn't happen, like she put some work into it and families donated, and it's really important.
Yeah, and I did it my 7th and 8th grade year, and then I also did it this past year, part of NHS. And me and Aubrey got together with a couple people, and we were able to also like help donate, even still being at the high school. And I just think every single year it's a great reminder to be grateful for what you have and like think about your community and those other people and just like how you can really help them.
This one is me, right? So throughout the years, we've just had different partners that we started with the Volunteers of America out of Everett, and we asked for Arlington families, but it ended up becoming more Everett families. And so then we kind of looked at this, it's a Snohomish County Giving Tree Facebook page, and they would give us some Arlington families because we wanted to make sure our community more so, but we also did help other Snohomish County families. Like they would reach out and they're like, "Hey, we're short. Could you pick up? This is just a mom and a kid. Would you?" And we're like, "Yes, absolutely. We would do it." And so that's who we have used most recently. This last year, we actually partnered with, help me, Ms. Howell. What is his title? Our student resource. Our student support advocate who works both at Post and Howler. And he informed us of a family at Post this year that had lost their home and everything in a fire in September. And then as I think Michaela said, then flooding happened. And so they were affected twofold. And so it was great joy to be able to help that family. And this is where Taylor got to see this family and just the appreciation that they had for us as she's hugging us and crying. And, and so that was it was good to know that it wasn't a whole lot, but it was something. And they didn't have to go through Christmas with that. Oh, I'll let them all talk about this. This is their favorite part after we are done with getting all the gifts and whatnot. Taylor, do you want to start?
So after we're done doing gifts, we do our little celebration. We do these 2-on-2 courts all over, and we do a sock exchange. So it's kind of like after, we treat other people, we do something a little fun for ourselves. And we have a little dress up competition for Christmas. I personally don't participate in it because I'm the last minute person. But I just think it was fun to, come together with both teams and just hang out and just celebrate for Christmas. I'm the cool picture with the
chicken socks.
Yeah.
The 2v2 I think was my favorite because you get to dress up with your friend and match, coordinate outfits. We were a reindeer and Santa, and it was really fun to work hard and want it after.
I really enjoyed getting to see all my friends and teammates who just show up in silly outfits. It's the last day of school before Christmas break. Usually it takes place in the morning, so we're all a little bit still tired and trying to wake ourselves up, but it's kind of the light at the end of the tunnel after you've been working so hard and putting in a lot of effort to organize a lot of things and wrap up everything and make it into one big group to give and donate. And so just getting together at the end of it and just celebrating with each other means a lot.
Yeah, and I think to agree with Aubrey, one of my favorite things was just seeing all my friends and like all the teams get together and just like be able to dress up, get names and just have fun with each other. And like being able to like look back on the season and like giving in all of that.
Obviously, it's grown over the past like few years, but I remember like coming in at 5 a.m. for morning practice, and we're like, hey, let's get going to practice, and then like wrapping up the season. And I remember my favorite memory was school got a 2-hour late start when we were already at school. So Anderson was like, had the donuts. She's like, hey, still in the gym, let's play hide and seek. So yeah, it was a lot of fun, and it's a great way to wrap up the season. It's a short season, but it's a really fun season. And
This year we had cookies and cocoa. But we've done donuts, we've done pizza, we've done different things, but yeah, it's fun to watch them to celebrate as they have just been given to then the coaches kind of give back to them with their little celebration. But, and I will say that my daughter, she might have been there at 5 a.m. because she had to go with me, but our practices weren't at 5 a.m.
yeah, it felt early.
So this quote right here is, she was a former athlete, but then she also came and volunteered as a coach. And so I asked her to be here tonight, but she couldn't be here. But anyways, so there's that. I'll give you a little time to read it. And that's the end. So if you have any questions or anything for us.
How did you choose your family?
So the first year we just asked Volunteers of America, or I guess it was probably the first 5 years, we asked Volunteers of America just to give us somebody. We told them we can probably service this number of people in the family or 2 small. I think one year we actually did 3 smaller families. And so they just kind of gave it to us. We didn't necessarily know, we just knew first names. We didn't know everybody. And there were a couple times we had Arlington, but then it started to get more Everett, and not that we didn't like that, but I wanted to be more Arlington. And so then I saw this Arlington Facebook, or the Snohomish County Facebook page, and she was located in Arlington. And so reached out to her, and she just kind of gets same thing. We don't know the full names. We just know first names. This was the first year that I knew the full name. They didn't. They only knew first names. And so just to try and keep, because we didn't know how that family would feel. And so just reaching out to community members just to try and find and see who needs help. And so that's how we did it. And so typically when we had the JV team, we would take on more. Obviously, now that we're just the varsity, we just took on the 1 family this year because it was a larger family and it was a lot that we were trying to give to them. And so just kind of through that community, just asking around is what we did. So.
Do they, when you connect with the family, do they give you like a wish list? What
yeah,
I want?
So this year I actually reached out to the family and I said, hey, would you mind if we heard about your situation? We really want to help you out. And they got back to us and were like, oh, we would love that. And so I said, please give us. And most of the time the parents are always like, we don't want anything. We just want it for the kids. And we're like, oh, no. We're going to take care of you too. Whether it's, a lot of times we do family events. So maybe it's a movie night that we give a movie and popcorn and stuff so they could have a family thing, games, gift certificate to a restaurant or something that they could do as a family. One year we had a single dad with a boy and we gave what's the trampoline park, and we gave him the trampoline gift card to go and spend time together. So those are things that we do. So yeah, we ask them, we ask for necessities. We need size, whatever, what do you need? And then we're like, what's some wish items? And so we try and do that. We've given diapers, we've given car seats. What else have we given?
Bed frames one time.
Bed frames, bike. Mattress, yes. Sheets, like whatever, if there's a need, that's our first priority is those needs. And then the wants, we do want to at least give them one want, but we try to spoil them a little bit, much as we can.
Do you pay yourselves or do you go solicit donations?
It's what a family can do.
But I'm saying you as the group who are getting these things, do you solicit?
They typically go out and buy them.
Okay.
And so they'll sign up. I'm going to bring a gift card for this amount.
Because if you ask, I mean, I did this with our band and solicited donations from the dentist. And
Mhm.
so I mean, it's a negotiating tactic, and you'd be surprised at how many businesses here or in, Smoky Point would be willing to support you on that. And you could do more, and maybe not always out of your pocket, but also just,
I had a friend one year whose family owned a local propane company. And so like I approached her like, hey, like, would you be able to help at all? And I believe they donated some sets of bedding for the children that year.
it's just as they
Yeah,
ask.
yeah, and some of the families that have businesses, they have donated something above and beyond. Tax write-off. We had one family who was a chef, donated 3 or 4 turkeys
Oh my gosh.
for the family.
Yeah, that's
So,
cool.
so we've given like groceries before, but then we're like, we've kind of scaled back on that, like, let's just do the gift card so they can pick what they want. But yeah, they donate turkeys, like, yeah. And yes, I understand what you're saying, and so.
It's just a nice blend. It's
Yeah,
a nice opportunity to learn
absolutely.
that.
If we run into that, I was kind of like trying to get these guys, the kids to see about doing that before but if we need to, yes, that's always a thought.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll say it's awesome. I'd heard like of this, but I wasn't quite sure of the depth of the program. So it's amazing. And it seems like a lot of planning. Like, do you start planning as soon as school starts?
As soon as volleyball starts.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I think I reached out to you maybe in September, October, and I said, are you in this year?
I
And
believe it was mid-October.
she's like, absolutely. And I knew my daughter was in honor science, so I kind of like, and they're friends. And so I'm like, let's get it going. And then once volleyball starts, I'm looking for families and reaching out. And so, yeah, it starts. And then we typically give that last week of winter, right before winter break is usually when we hand stuff over. So, yeah.
It's a beautiful program, and thank you for serving your community.
Thank you.
And next up, another presentation recognition for our meeting is our Education Support Professional Recognition. And Dr. Sweeting is going to get us started. And everybody's welcome to stay, but you don't have to.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna invite, if I'm coming up, I'd like to invite Nancy Hill and all our education support professionals that are here tonight to come up. And stand right in front of them. Come on, Nat. What else do we have?
All right. So this week across our state, it's been the week that's been proclaimed the Education Support Professionals Week. But I like to say, I hope every week is a special week for our people that do so much for us. And this is the work that our education support people do. It's like from the first moment a bus comes and picks up a student, from the very end of the night when you lock the door, you turn off the lights, it's from the morning until the night that you do this work that you do. And so we thank you for that. The board is going to read the proclamation from the governor because he proclaimed this week as a special week. And so we're going to do that right now. And I think Mary should start us off. Whereas education support professionals are involved in nearly every aspect of education, including maintaining buildings and grounds, preparing and serving meals, and keeping school facilities clean and orderly. And
whereas education support professionals assist in the classroom, providing instructional hours to students with special education needs and those learning English as a second language. And
whereas education support professionals provide administrative support functions, safe transportation, a secure and healthy environment, and many other specialized services. And
whereas these dedicated individuals deserve recognition and thanks for the outstanding work they do for this state, their communities, and the students enrolled in Washington's public schools and universities. And
whereas there are at least 70,000 education support professionals helping students in Washington's
public schools and universities, and
whereas education support professionals are instrumental in fulfilling the state's responsibility to educate all students, and
whereas by supporting the learning environment, education support professionals are crucial partners with teachers, parents, administrators, and school board.
Now, therefore, I, Bob Ferguson, Governor of the State of Washington, do hereby proclaim March 9th through 13th, 2026 as Education Support Professionals Week in Washington, and I urge all people in our state to join me in this special observance.
Thank you.
Pretty magically turned that. That's, you have to look at that pretty.
Beautiful.
Yeah. That'll be.
Can I take a quick picture? Actually, can you go 2 on 2 each side so you get the background? Sorry. There you go. Okay, perfect. Like right here, perfect. Hold it.
So you notice that in the proclamation, it said some 70,000. Well, here in Arlington, we have 329. So there's that number right there on the PowerPoint right there, that we have 329 people that do, like I said, crucial and vital work for the district. And we could not do our mission without you. So just need to thank you. And you're representative of those 329 people that are working hard. They're working right now. The next slide actually is, it shows a list.
Can we stand over here so we can see?
Sure. Yeah. The next slide, it's actually, if you really look at all the scope of all the different types of jobs and things that people do within the education support specialist, as that thing is going back. Very nice.
infinitely.
Very good. But just a lot of different things. And we, like I said, couldn't do this work. We could not do our mission to educate, prepare, and inspire our kids without all of that. So thank you for that. The next slide. So this is a collage of different pictures of certainly we
recognize that face.
Yeah, certainly we couldn't get all 329. That'd be cool, but just this represents a variety. Custodians, bus drivers, safety, security people, secretarial staff, maintenance, grounds, let's see, nurses, or health assistants. This one looks like, isn't he a custodian? I think he's a custodian.
It's a superhero.
Anyway, just a variety there. So, and I hope that they at least get to see the thank you here. The next slide shows what we're taking out to buildings. Some have made their way there today, but there's this little package of it that says just a little something to help you thrive and see in your day. Thanks for all you do, from cabinet. It says you're the bomb. And it's got a practical lip balm. And then of course, chocolate, you have to have chocolate. So those will be in boxes with each of them. This one doesn't have it because it's extra, but they have their names on the back. Those. And with that, oops, where'd it go? Nancy, would you like to say something?
So sorry, there's a little bit of confusion. We weren't sure if we were coming tonight. I didn't hear until, I think, was it Friday? So sorry about that. Otherwise we would have all
I
300
also have some chocolate here for you too.
Yeah. So thank you. These are my post people. So thank you, post, for coming. Our classified staff, as you all know, we are the foundation of Arlington School District, and the students, the staff, the school district, we wouldn't be able to have what we have if it wasn't for our support. So thank you for recognizing our classified staff, and just remember that we are your foundation, and because of us, we can all work together and have great educational responses. So.
Okay, I'm giving you a year's notice. So next year, we honor.
We normally do. I know we normally do, but normally we get an invitation and we hear it, and I'm like, so I messaged Eric and I'm like, what is going on? And he's like, I think so. Let me get back to it.
Well, done.
Okay, thank you.
And you want to take any Anybody else that you have? There might be other, I guess not, but we have other chocolates if you need. Anyway, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mary did her best.
All right, thank you to all of our education support professionals. We literally could not have the school running without them. And next up would be our public comment portion. Do you have anybody sign up? Anybody in the audience want to say anything? All right, moving right along. We have our consent agenda. Next up on our agenda, do we have a motion to approve our consent agenda as presented?
I'll make the motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second.
It's been moved by Director Watts and seconded by Director Kelly to approve the consent agenda.
Director Diamond?
Aye.
Director Kelly?
Yes.
Director Watts? Aye. President Levesque?
Yes.
Director Knapp?
Aye. The consent agenda is approved. That brings us to our new business portion of our meeting. And the first item on the new business portion is our cybersecurity grant. And we'd like to welcome to the podium our Director of Technology, Dr. Matt Jurek. Good evening, Matt.
Good evening. Thank you, directors. Some exciting news for you tonight. I come to you for your approval and receipt of a cybersecurity grant that Technology pursued this past fall, and we've been tentatively awarded pending your acceptance in the amount of $123,500. So a little bit of brief information behind this. This was a grant opportunity through the state of Washington Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA, and the U.S. Department of Homeland Security and FEMA. And so the intent is to bolster cybersecurity resources for small and local government entities, including school districts like ourselves. We did apply in early 2025. We received preliminary approval in January and then final approval from DHS in February. Our grant funds 3 different projects. We're looking at the first key piece funds $45,000 for phishing education and training for students and staff. So last year, as a little bit of a background, we did kind of a preliminary baseline study on where we stand with our exposure risk for phishing attacks. We didn't do very well, and so we are excited to be able to address that shortcoming through this. So what this will fund is a service that will help educate students and staff on phishing emails and exploits, and there's going to be some engagement. It's going to be an interactive process that's going to be coming. What is exciting is that this will be not just for our staff, but also for our high school students. So it'll be for all students, grades actually 6 through 12, as well as all of our staff. The grant funds 3 years. Well, at this point, we funded it thinking that we might get approval sooner. But the grant will go through 2028, November of 2028. So it will give us 2.5 years, school years of service. The second piece in the amount of approximately $9,000 will be for enhancing our authentication processes and monitoring personally identifiable information that travels through our different systems. So it will give us some deeper insights into how very private, secure information is going in and out of our systems so that we can address those. And then $80,000 is a one-time, and that, again, sorry, that $9,000 is for that 2.5 year span. And then $80,000, the bulk of the grant, is a one-time fund to help us segregate our network. So it's physical equipment that we're putting in. Where we are right now is all of our sites, all of our different buildings funnel their internet traffic back through the district office for processing, which is great. It's a very effective way to maintain our systems, but it doesn't give us a lot of insight into, we call it sniffing, the information as it goes through. And so we just had too much for us to be able to handle any kind of thorough processing, sniffing of that information here. So what this does is it helps us break up our sites a little bit so that that processing will happen at the per site level rather than have to come all the way back to the district office for it. So that will allow us to implement a couple of additional services that we weren't able to before. So the funding is good for those services, those first few pieces through November 30th, 2028. There is no commitment of funding beyond that. So if we decide at that point, this was a great 2.5 years and we're on our way, that's fine. We don't have to spend anything more, but it gives us an opportunity to determine if this is a good way forward for us. That's the 10,000-foot elevation view, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
So has the biggest concern been, like, is it exposure? Is it like from the outside accessing our data here in the district? And it's also educating. I felt like in the vector training, we had something with phishing.
We did. We started that this year. So we put a couple more modules in the vector training this year around that, around cybersecurity and email. That's our number one concern. That's our biggest vector.
A lot of exposure there.
It is. So in Arlington, over the past 18 months, we've had two cybersecurity incidents, and both stemmed from phishing attacks.
Okay.
And we're not alone in this. That is the number one exposure risk. So we can put as many, firewalls up as we can fund. But at the end of the day, it's our users that are in the system, especially our staff who have higher level of security for skyward, permission that Google access. Those are our highest vulnerability points. And so addressing that through a phishing education campaign is the most effective approach that we can take.
I know where I'm at in Lakewood, we have the authentication. It drives me a little bit nuts. I wanted to ask the question, like,
yeah,
please, by God, don't tell me you're making the teachers log in like 4 different passwords or some. I mean, it gets a little much like even day I walk in, it's like Monday, it's like, oh, I have to go back to my laptop and get the code.
Right.
But I think what you're explaining is, but organically, that's really going to help the district overall. And especially as you get higher level and you have more data, more things of value that you have access to. So we want to protect that.
That middle service that we're looking at, the goal with that is to help us be able to have better insights into what our vulnerabilities are. So we're not quite sure what we don't know.
Okay.
And so that middle piece, it funds 2 different services for our authentication so that we're able to see, as our staff and students are signing into our education platforms on a daily basis, we can see where the information is going. We can see where we need to shore up a little bit more, probably on the education piece. So I'm not going to promise that we're not going to have more complicated login processes in the future. It's the way of the world I'm
yeah. Yeah, but it's safeguards and the exposure, right? The risk you bear if you don't do those things is.
I mean, there's the philosophical piece. Obviously, we want to do what's right for our students and protect our students' personally identifiable information. From an operational standpoint, Brian and I have to, and Dr. Sweeting, of course, have to sign every year in order to receive our district's cybersecurity coverage, insurance coverage, that we're meeting certain requirements. Sure. So this helps go toward that. So there's a little bit nuts and bolts to it too.
Okay, that hurts.
Any other questions? All right. Thank you for explaining that very clearly. This is an action item. Do we have a motion to approve the cybersecurity grant?
I'll make a motion to approve the cybersecurity grant.
I'll second.
It's been moved by Director Knapp and seconded by Director Diamond to approve the cybersecurity grant in the amount of $123,520.
Director Diamond?
Aye.
Director Kelly?
Aye.
Director Watts? President Levesque?
Yes.
Director Knapp?
Yes.
All right, cybersecurity grant is approved. Thank you, Dr. Jurek.
Thank you, Director.
Next up on our agenda is a new high school course, tenor and bass choir. And we would like to welcome up Marilee Herman, our principal at AHS, and Kendrick Weaver, our choral teacher / director.
I'm so excited. I really thought, Matt, you were getting something where you teach kids to fish. So I think it's part of your problem.
I'll get you next time.
I was like, what?
You're the one getting on all the basketball.
It's me. It's this one.
I know.
No, I don't touch anything unless Matt tells me to. So or Red, of course. You guys, we're cutting staffing, right? That's all a reality. And yet at Arlington High School, we are continuing to find very creative ways to try and meet the needs of every single kid. I do think my staff is the best. You know how it is. But Kendrick has come up with something beautiful, and I think it's going to really meet some needs. And I'll let you take it away, my friend. Yeah.
I am super excited to talk to you today about tenor bass choir and renaming our current non-audition group into a treble choir. I think we could really benefit from this class for 3 reasons. The first one is that when specifically male voices are going through puberty and they're changing, it's really hard. You may wake up a bass one day after being a tenor, your range may be 5 notes, you might have lots of voice cracks. Like it's just a challenge for a lot of our growing singers. And to be able to practice and get some specific instruction related to that, and to get music tailored to that kind of changing voice will allow us to have a safe space to let people, specifically guys, but not limited to one gender, try choir. The interest, I mean, I know you know of the band. I know some of you were at the musical last weekend. There's a lot of palpable excitement for the arts at the high school right now, which is really special to be a part of. So I was like, if you build it, they will come. We've been taking a small list of like, who would be interested in taking this class? And so without any of our incoming freshmen, we have 21 signed up to potentially take this course, 12 of whom are not a part of our choir program already. When I started here, we had 69 in the choir program total, and our numbers for next year are looking like 112. So not only do we need this for specific instruction related to changing voice, but also for space reasons. I only get the guys who are brave enough to try singing in front of girls. So I only have a handful, but clearly that list to me proves that the interest is there for a beginner ensemble for guys. The last reason I think we need it is for musical excellence. I think it pushes everybody to have more competition for our audition groups. For Flight, our jazz choir, we kind of rely on who's going to show up for auditions this year sometimes. And while we have a big enough school and enough talent here that works, I think it's a lot more sustainable for us to be training people for that higher level ensemble. So that's my spiel. I could talk about choir forever if you let me. I did want to show you some of the excitement that our students have for this ensemble. I asked some students to make posters, and this is what they came up with. This is one poster. This is very sweet. It says almost no words during class, but was so excited to make this. And I think this kind of shows when you channel
My goodness.
chaotic guy energy into education, and you can balance that with having fun, but also coming in every day and trying to get better and working hard that special things can happen. Really excited at the potential of this course. Yeah, we are also on board with that.
What questions do you have for us?
And it's year round?
It'll be year round.
Okay. And it's how many units or credits they call it?
It'll be 2 semester long credits, so I think
So
it'll be
one.
one, yeah.
Okay. Half and half, okay.
I just want to say how proud I am. I remember sitting in that very first parent meeting of you coming to teach, and you talked about your vision and goal of music, and you're doing it.
Yeah, I just love working here, and I love our kids. So, yeah, this is a special project for me.
I see that says 9 to 12, like can any student join any grade?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
It's just anyone is welcome to come try it out. Most of the people who are signed up to potentially take it now are upperclassmen, just because I've known them from the musicals or from just being in my piano classes. So this doesn't change anything that we offer. We still can offer the piano class to students. It'll just replace one of those 2 classes.
It's also something that wasn't on the course options for incoming ninth graders.
Right. It was
Just
we got
because of the
no-
adoption process, right?
Right.
It takes a bit. And so that's something that we'll, pitch and sell as well.
Right.
But also, I mean, we're seeing a lot of kids, 11th and 12th grade, jumping into the musicals at that point in time, or, just watching the scene. This is my first and only
Right.
year, right? And so this should build that momentum as well.
We want to catch those kids early. There are so many kids.
Yes.
Kids have been with us the whole time.
Yes, yes, I feel like I hear that again, again. Exactly, we hear that too much, so, yeah.
Cool. That was me in high school. I waited till senior year to do musicals. I was like, I learned from my mistakes. I'm like, don't be like me.
The next, pay it forward. Nice.
Any other questions? I know there was a little bit of a budget cost, some annual costs for some supplies of some sort.
Really, we have with our AEA grant that we get, which is amazing. My last choir budget was $300 at the last school I worked at. So this is I'm very glad to be here. Yeah, we won't need any additional budgeting. We'll do a little fundraising this year to set us up for next year. I would like to get the guys in some like sharp suit jackets so they can, you know, take some pride in what they do. We've been doing shirts so far, which is great, but like, I think that'll elevate us a little bit more. We'll all pay for that booster.
Any other questions? Okay, this is a student advisory vote. So we have one student advisor here, Alex. No pressure. Alex, would you support this new high school course?
I would. I know a lot of people that are very excited about it.
Thank you. And do we have a motion to approve the new high school course tenor bass choir?
I make a motion to approve the new tenor and bass choir.
I second.
It's been moved by Director Watson, seconded by Director Kelly to approve the new high school course. Madam Clerk.
Director Diamond?
Yes.
Director Kelly?
Yes.
Director Watts?
Yes.
President Levesque?
Yes.
Director Knapp?
Yay.
Yay.
I'm sure.
All right. That's, it's the cat.
Oh, God, yes, they cause you to get a little outside your.
And then don't go anywhere because the next item on the agenda is also yours. We have a course revision for the Eagle Choir. So we'd like to welcome back Kendrick Weaver and Sarah Herman.
Okay, this is all to reduce confusion. Eagle Choir is splitting. So what is formerly Eagle Choir will be our treble choir, and then we'll have the tenor and bass. So it just makes it nice and clear for kids to direct them the way they want to go. Good. It's as fancy as it gets, right?
If a kid doesn't know what range they have, is there somebody that's going to help them figure out if they should be in the treble choir or the tenor bass choir?
Yeah, we.
Like plunk notes on the piano and say, try this.
That's kind of how we do it, trial and error. I have some guys who sing alto for me right now. So I think they have a sense for where their voice is at. Like, is it high or low? I think most kids kind of understand that, which is why I named the courses tenor bass versus treble. I think that's going to catch kids when they look at the course catalog. They'll be like, treble, I think that's high. Maybe they remember from elementary music. We have some great students who are recruiting for our choirs and can help kind of push them in the right direction. It's not limited to just like boys in the boys choir and girls in the girls. It's just wherever you're comfortable singing. It's good.
Because every voice is different.
Every voice is
And we want to hear them all.
That's right.
Okay, this is another student advisory vote.
No pressure. It's a nail biter.
I vote yes.
Do we have a motion to approve the course revision for Eagle?
I'll make a motion to approve the course revision for Eagle Choir.
I'll second.
It's been moved by Director Diamond and seconded by Director Kelly to approve the course revision for Eagle Choir. Madam Clerk.
Director Diamond? Yes. Director Kelly?
Yay.
Director Watts?
Yes.
President Levesque?
Aye.
Director Knapp?
Yes.
Course revision is approved. Thank you very much. Now I know we need some more music stands and chairs next.
Yes, we do. We just got our AEF grant, John Aguilar, our band director, and I. So we'll be filling those out. So we got 6 stands and chairs. They're like $100 each.
You're not going to need any of the kind of stands that you can fold up and take with you.
We take those gigs, yeah.
Okay, I have a couple to donate then. I asked Mr. Otterness, he was not in need, but I will bring them by to you guys.
This is such a good multi-purpose meeting.
We all just step in when we need to.
Yes, every time. It's so fun. All right, thank you very much. Next up is our first reading of board policies 1005, key functions of the board, and 1210, annual organizational meeting election of officers. Okay, Dr. Sweet is going to explain all of it.
Okay, this is 1005. And this is first reading. So the red is what's being changed. And it's again, that Basta's going through this task of aligning and realigning the policies and procedures to align with the standards. And so that's what you have here. If you notice this, it should look familiar. Responsible school, district governance. And then, so these are in the sections, and the red is just clarifying, this aligns with some of the language we approved at the last meeting and that we're going to approve tonight as well. So, and it's all of this was based out of the policy news in October. So should all be good. I think they should be just realigning with what was to as funds. The next one, there's no more, there's a. Going all the way down, see if there's any. Holding the district accountable for student learning, engagement of the community in education, and see that, and the indicators below that.
Is that still discretionary?
Yeah. Wait, what am I supposed to do? Stop.
So is it a discretionary classification? Is that correct? Okay.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay,
Oh,
as opposed to-
it didn't
Didn't
update.
have,
Wait.
or it's not in red. Discretionary.
I thought,
Wasn't it like,
I can't remember.
just a minute.
Critical.
yeah, critical was one of them.
Critical important.
I thought there was an E one. There's not an E one like,
Essential.
yeah. Unless that's, I can't tell the two.
Discretionary is the same.
Yeah, that one I think it's.
Okay, recommended.
And that's what it was.
Must do.
Okay.
Encouraged.
Something.
Oh,
Okay, so the
And
next
discretionary.
one, we'll move on to the next one.
Sorry about that.
Okay, this is 1210, and this is the annual organization meeting, election of officers. Kind of a minimal on this, and it says that that a newly or appointed, so they just put the word appointed, so a newly elected or appointed, they've got that verified in there, less than 1 year, so that's clarification. And just added some little things. And then the very last sentence, and this is discretionary with as well. Policies will, feel like we looked at this, this sounding familiar, but we looked at this during agenda planning. And so this is talking about that just if this is true, but now we're putting in writing that the policies will continue year to year, board to board, unless a board approves a change. So they're just ongoing. That's 1210. And then we'll come back for second reading.
Any questions or changes anyone would like to make to either one of these two policies? I like it with the list for the whatever key functions of the board, but A, B, C, D. It's easier than
It's
the paragraph. It's easier to
Yeah.
read.
Yeah, I do too. Okay, the next one is for second reading, so this is an action item.
1820.
Yeah, 1820. So,
It's all about us.
yes. This too is about the board self-assessment. And it's, this one, if this language, the commitment of and commitment to high expectations, responsible school governance, that all aligns with the language that we just read. And this is, we do this every June. It's going to be coming up where we annually self-assess ourselves. And so these are clarifying in the red and clarifying. This is important.
This one is a second reading and adoption. Do you have a motion to approve 1820 board self-assessment?
The motion I approve. 1820.
Second.
It's been moved by Director Knapp and seconded by Director Watts to approve board policy 1820 board self-assessment.
Director Diamond.
Aye.
Director Kelly.
Aye.
Director Watts.
Yes.
President Levesque. Aye. Director Knapp.
Yes. 1820 policy is approved. And that brings us to our second reading and deletion retirement of board policy 1810 annual governance goals and objectives and adoption of board policy 1821 standards for individual school directors.
So the first one that would be deleted is going away and it would be replaced with the 1821. And the 1821 you would see in a moment is just totally aligned with the standards. So this is, we would first delete this and then we would approve the new one.
And there was no changes suggested last time.
And this is the next one that's going to replace it. So you can see
It's
that
just so much easier to
it
read.
aligns with things that we should. It's in a list form.
Oh, it's just like what we do on the, yeah.
And I'm assuming, I hope this is true, that when we get the self-assessment, that this is, that's aligned as well.
Yeah. I'm assuming it will be.
I need to.
Do we have a motion to approve second reading and deletion of 1810 and approval of 1820?
I'll make a motion to approve and delete 1810 and accept 1821.
I'll second.
It's been moved by Director Diamond and seconded by Director Kelly to do all that.
Director Diamond.
Aye.
Director Kelly.
Aye.
Director Watts.
Yes.
President Levesque.
Aye.
Director Knapp.
Aye. Thank you. That motion passed. Next up is our informational items. And we'd like to start with our superintendent's report.
So I just wanted to just say publicly how I appreciate our arts program and how spectacular the production was for Guys and Dolls. And I think, you know, we had over, I know 39, 40 plus students involved, and the orchestrated on the stage so they could be visible the whole time, which was cool instead of being underneath. I know there's times when that has to happen, but it was cool that the set design that they could be on, you know, right there on stage. So that was cool. And there's so many involved in backstage and on the stage and all the parents that were involved to help. And it was spectacular. I thought it was well done. And I wish I could say more, but, you know, how do you say in different ways, well done, in about 1,000 different ways. But spring sports, I mentioned last time, but the list today came out by Tom Wise's. Like we've got baseball, we have golf, we have boys soccer and softball, fast pitch, softball. So lots going on with the sports world. And then, of course, we have our educational support specialist week and professionals week. And the thing is that I didn't say this, but the buildings are in full force of honoring our people too, you know, so from the building level to the district level. And I think that Alex will share, but she was participated in a wonderful event last Friday. So I think she'll share a bit about that. But thank you, Alex, for participating in that student board rep retreat. But that's all I have.
Well, thank you. And then we'll have our legislative update and discussion. Director Kelly.
I wanted to pull up, that's funny, I have it on my phone. I wanted to bring the paper, but Larry Delaney, I believe, lives in Arlington. He's a WEA, Washington Educator Association president. And he did just a phenomenal job of really kind of shoring up where things are at Olympia from the education standpoint. The millionaire tax could be, I'll say helpful. He basically gave us a line item of the different parts that we're still looking at. Transition to kindergarten is at risk, cutting Running Start access as well as TTK. So these are things that are still alive. A couple of things that are coming to committee. So Thursday is Sine Die. So it's coming to the wire here. But I believe what I understood from my session last week with the Ledge Committee was that restricting restraint did get approved. So that is good in terms of, being very clear on what that looks like. And I think people were concerned about when you're doing new buildings, like some school districts were having like a room set aside for this sort of thing. So they're trying to get that handled. If I'm just kind of nodding. So they want to make sure that we're very clear on what that looks like so that we're all in agreement of what restraint looks like. And so if you're doing a new building or add-on that meets those guidelines. What I was also interested in was, I think this is the one, I think it's curriculum and PD requirements for K through 4 language arts. So this was House Bill 1295. And it's basically wanting evidence-based literacy. And I put in a vote for that, that I supported. That was through WASDA, but I also get text messages on my phone through WIA, like, can you sign in pro or con? Last week it was con for TTK cuts. So I really appreciate the modern technology we have to send this information to our legislators. But my goal would be in this coming year is just really finding out what, as we go into the non-active session, I say non-active where our legislators aren't in Olympia, but really finding maybe we talked about our like 3 main points or even 2. What do we want to continue to express to our legislators on programs that are working, where our needs are, and if you cut them, how will that impact our district? I think we need to just continue to express that, whether it's staffing. I mean, we're not alone, but I think if you continue to hear that same message. I will just also bring up, and talking to a friend of mine from, I think she's at the Snohomish School District, and she said, she's been a school board director for like 19 or 20 years now, and she's been a ledge rep for the last couple. But the question is, you kind of have to step back sometimes from education and say, we keep asking and we keep asking for these same things. And the legislature, we constantly say it's paramount duty, but it's not being met. So I think what she was saying is, do we need to go back to the drawing board? Like, do we need to kind of look at education itself and how this all functions? Like, is there another way? Are there other ways of competency-based learning? I mean, how do we make use of our staffing? How do we make use of our buildings? Because they're a nonstop event. You're constantly feeding into that, right? Or you grow or you shrink. Our district, and when I was on board initially, we were a district that was pondering another elementary school. And that isn't even on the drawing board anymore. We just want to see what we can do for post. So I'm just always of the mind that I really want to think about what could be changed. What we keep asking, like I said, the money is always in that, and the costs, of course, keep going on several levels. And having our community be a part of that conversation. Like, how do we want to use shared space? How do we want to use, if we had post-middle school or you have people coming in the evenings, like, how can we use this where we have more buy-in for the community whose taxes are paying for this? I think that's important. So anyway, I'll certainly keep you abreast of things I hear. Certainly want to take your feedback if you talk to other people or have ideas of things we should examine. But as I said, as we go further into the non-active time in Olympia, think of those stories from our students and our staff and how we can continue to send that message to Olympia. I'm not saying we have to ask for more money, but how can we make the money really count that we are given, and then work with them in terms of like, what is an alignment? What can we pare down, or what can we change to make it more tenable for all, if you will. So anyway,
Thank you for sharing.
yeah, just some ideas.
All right, next up is our board comments. We'd like to hear from our student advisor, Alex.
So I have a couple things. Firstly, I did the cookie for your thoughts. It was popcorn. So I did that for all 3 lunches. So I had a lot of kids. The main thing I took away from it is there is a very big disconnect between the understanding of what students think is going on, or the lack of what they think is going on. I'm gonna try and find ways of how to build that connection. Because I had a table, some popcorn, and then I had questions printed out. And to get the popcorn, they had to answer 2 to 3 questions in the best handwriting they could. I thought I had better handwriting. I learned a lot from that though, and it was very interesting. A lot of people thought I was an adult.
That's the way you present.
This Friday, I went to the student rep retreat, and I learned a lot. I got to meet up with a lot of new people, had a lot of different conversations. I was mostly in the group about community outreach and what can we do for post, and kind of just back and forth. But I learned a lot that I'll be definitely taking and talking to the student advisory council with as well, to try to get their thoughts and see what we can do as a group to try to bring out and talk to our community as students. I also was able to make really strong connections with our Lakewood reps, and me and her had some lovely conversations. And we talked about maybe working on a project together so we could connect our schools. Yeah, and lastly, just in my world, fully registered for a senior, into doing that, and then looking at colleges and making all that list and calculating all the money. Very fun start.
Oh, yeah, that's exciting.
Thank you for sharing. That's awesome. I guess start with Matt.
No big updates. Thank you, education support professionals, for everything you do for the students, the district, everything. So appreciate you. It's a big deal.
Erica.
Yeah, I have a little list. A little, it's just a paragraph. That was super fun. Last week we went to Books Before Bedtime, several of us, at Pioneer Elementary. And I wore like a squid hat, and I just love the questions that some of the kids ask that are just like no boundaries. It's so great. And Aubrey, who's one of the Hollers Angels, was one of my sign language students, so that was cool. And then also going to literacy night at SBLC was super fun. And what's the frog's name for the Akasogs?
Oh, I don't know. I know.
He was there again. Webley, yeah, was there again. And it was super fun to see all the families walking around and doing the different book activities. We're a big book family. And I also wanted to say thank you to the education support professionals, not only education, but health, wellness, safety, nutrition, enrichment, all the things. And also happy to support the tech safety and the arts tonight. It's like we have the STEM all together. And I wanted to say thank you, Sherry, for doing all the ledge work, leg work. I guess one thing, I mean, there's a lot of, every year it's like up and down feelings about not quite getting what we want, what we're advocating for. But I think one that I was disappointed in was, I think it was 1670, which was the purple alert, which was Jonathan Wong's family. They were trying to get that passed.
Oh,
so I was really hoping that that one would go through, and it didn't. So maybe next year, but I feel like that's really important. And it was an event that shook our community, and
For
so I
sure.
don't know where Jonathan is. So that's concerning. And yeah, like on a happier note, I like the little greenhouses.
They're beautiful.
So that was happy to see a little growth, and so cute. I've never seen that project before. So thank you. Whoever brought those in.
Different presidents.
Yeah.
That makes
And they have
sense.
the little dishes outside that they made with little plastic dishes that they put candy in for us.
Oh, that's
So you
very
have to look
sweet.
at those. They're beautiful.
Love that partnership. Thank you for sharing. Director Kelly, anything else you'd like to add tonight?
Not too much, just I know we have the mental health youth mental health forum. I will say that having all these acronyms back, I can't. A couple weeks ago, we did one with someone from Snohomish County, and Will wasn't there, so another woman was there, and I think it's Will, it's right, Will, as well. So another woman represented him. And I was thinking back to when I first had the idea for the Youth Mental Health Forum, was I wanted something more grand. I had a very big idea, and then I had to really pare it down. I think that's a lot. But after that meeting, I was thinking, and Alex, you might have an opinion on that too, but I really would like to take this on a county level. And I've been inspired because what's happening in Seattle, and they had a whole group of students, like 300 kids from one, I don't know how many, which high school it was, something with a W, I think. And they came together. They had protested about the way the schedule worked. It was interrupting lunchtime, which was a very pivotal time to have connections with students, and just the way they rallied and they came together. I really like that. Or again, organically coming from the kids. So I would sort of dovetailing on that is I would like to have something at the county level. I would like to bring the high school students together to talk about mental health and just see where we're at. And if you had, Alex, Maddie had other ideas of what that could be, just dial into where young people are at. And I feel like I'm getting enough contacts in our area that I could make some calls and see how we could work that. But even if it was just one time, I feel like what's happening in Arlington is happening is happening in Stanwood and happening in Lakewood. And I think it would give you voice. I think it would give you voice, and we can invite local people and they will show up and they will hear it. And I will always I will always advocate for where the kids are at with mental health and the adults for that matter too, but definitely the kids. And I want to hear those voices. So anyway, something I'm going to do. Other than that, it's mid-March and we're a week away from St. Patty's Day. However you celebrate it. Corned beef and cabbage. I had Lucky Charms tonight, so that was my little. Oh, they have bigger rainbows in this box, so I was kind of excited. But anyway, I have to go immature. Friends, I am first grade. I am first grade teacher, so this is the world I live in. So, don't judge me. Anyway,
Thank you.
all is good.
Director.
Well, and I both forgot last time to mention our awesome school visit before the last
Weston.
board meeting, where we got to go to both Arlington and Weston.
Yep.
And seeing the principals show off their school in such unique and different ways, interacting with some of the classes. It was just really great to see how passionate the two principals are about their school and how it runs. So that was really fun, and I can't wait for more school visits. It was really great.
I wish I could go tomorrow.
It was my first time to Weston, so it was really cool to see how it ran, and I was just really impressed. Our hospital, Cascade Hospital, is going to be doing Arlington High School and Weston High School health classes Wednesday to kind of do a career tour, and do some fun activities, and then we're going to start doing lunch. So I love it. It brings me fills my cup when I get to share my two worlds and see what's actually out there, especially for seniors that are about to graduate and what they can enter right away without needing a higher form of education, but can get into it and get maybe tuition reimbursement and pay for college that way. I had to miss the school play due to illness, so I was kind of bummed, but I'm just so impressed on how our performing arts has grown. It needed that boost. And it's such a strong trio that are running the performing arts, so I'm excited to see where it will go. So impressive. And track season is upon us, and I think Jacob's come home every day and said, I'm cold. It's windy. Yes, it's a weird weather, but he definitely does different field events more than the running. So I'm excited to learn more about the field events than the distance running. So it'll be fun to cheer on that side of the field.
Thank you for sharing. That's awesome. I wanted to share that I also got to go to the musical and Books Before Bedtime, and I had the best time. I got to dress up in a funny outfit and use fun voices, and that opportunity that the sign language, the ASL interpreters provided. There was so much fun. I had Noelle, and she is in her third year of ASL, and my book had some really big words in it, and she was just so amazing at it. And it was an opportunity for the kids that were listening to the book to kind of sometimes like, why is she doing that? What is that? And like some of them had never seen sign language before. And so it was a really great experience, I think, just to have that aspect of reading books. It was really special. I got to read a book like 4 times, I think. And all those little kids and so many family members were there, and there was cookies and chocolate milk and lots of books to take home. It was just really incredible night to have the community be at the school and get more involved in reading. I don't think enough people are reading books anymore. I think it's really important. And then I did get to spend some time at the high school watching the play this last couple of weeks. My son was in the pit, and instead of being in the pit, he was on the stage, and it was just really fun to watch. And somehow they kept the band members as part of the the play. They like would take a tissue from one of them, or they like all use their hats, and it was like this funnest. I've never seen it before, but I hear it's catching on, and the pit is coming up on the stage now.
Nice.
It's kind of a new thing, and I'm excited about my senior going to senior dinner dance tomorrow night.
Oh my goodness.
I hope he has some clean pants. That's an issue for him. So I wanted to remind everybody about our next couple meetings. We have a special meeting event attendance for our Student Advisory Council for our Youth Mental Health Forum coming up in 2 days, Wednesday, March 11th, and that's from 6 to 7:30 p.m. at the Haller Middle School Library. And I'm not gonna be able to make it, but I think at least three
I'll
of
be there,
us will be there. And then we also have our regular meeting, study session on Monday, March 23rd, and the study session's at 4 up in the Lincoln Room, and the regular meeting is at 6 p.m. right here in the boardroom. And now I'm going to move us into our executive session and read a little script. We will now recess this meeting so that the board may convene in an executive session to review the performance of the employee. I estimate the executive session will last approximately 10 minutes, during which time no final action will be taken. And following the executive session, this meeting will be reconvened for the sole purpose of adjournment. And so my watch telling me that it is 7:15, so I'm assuming 7:25, if that's good mathing. Going back. And everybody's welcome to stay for the adjournment.
All right, board has reconvened after the executive session for the purpose of adjournment. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
It's been moved by Director Diamond and seconded by Director Kelly to adjourn the meeting. Madam Clerk.
Director Young.
Yes.
Director Kelly.
Yes.
Yes. President Levesque.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, meeting's adjourned. Drive safe.